Yo, what's going on tonight? Well, this afternoon. This is the Battle Blaster coming at you. Um, just wanted to talk to you guys about lately. There's been a lot of racism being shown around this country and also around the world. But today we're going to talk about something that's close to where I live at. It's called Sesame Place. It's a place for kids, and these redneck racist bastards are showing their hatred towards black children. Now, where I live in Trenton, New Jersey, and Trenton is only like 15-20 minutes away from Sesame Place. You know what I mean? You get on to Route 1, and Route 1 takes straight there. You get off in Langhorne. And the thing about Langhorne and all them places in Mooresville, Langhorne, what's that other place called? Damn, I can't, now I'm having a brain fart. But these different places in that area, that place is really a bunch of white people. It's very white populated. These people, they moved out of Trenton during the after the war. A lot of them moved from the New Jersey area, because New Jersey used to be a farmland. They used to call it it's like farm country. You know what I mean? They used to call it the Garden State. That's what you see on the bottom of our license plates. It says New Jersey, and then on the bottom it says Garden State, because at one time it was a lot of farmland. Now big developers come here and they build, but before, you had places like Allentown, PA, and what's the other place? Well, Langhorne is another place that they built up, because Langhorne wasn't the way it is today. Mooresville was always around, but it was never that highly populated, but it became highly populated. But that's neither here nor there. A lot of whites moved out of Jersey, or they moved from other parts of Pennsylvania to be in those areas, because back in those days, coming back from the war, they would get these GI Bills, and they was building these developments, these housing developments, which were they're houses, but they're just like big developments that they was building, and they were giving those white soldiers financial money to buy those houses, which is basically they were getting free housing. You know what I mean? They didn't have to pay not too much out of their pocket, or sometimes not at all, to buy a house out there. The government would give them loans to buy the house, and that was it. And these are loans they didn't have to pay back, because they were GI loans. So, a lot of those GIs who, like I said, came back from war, they got those houses out there. Now, black people couldn't get a house out there. And if they did get a house out there, or people who did want to buy a house out there, they were quickly discouraged in not living in that area. One thing I never understood about black people, we always want to live around white folks. Wherever they go, we want to go. The bitches want to go to the moon and Mars, we want to be right there next to them. No. We should take care of what the fuck we need to take care of, and do what the fuck we need to do for ourselves. But that's neither here or there. But we're going, it has a little bit relativity to what I'm talking about. But my thing is, as a kid, I remember Sesame Place opening up. It opened up around like 1982, 1981, 1982, around that time, it opened up. I remember when we were little kids, we wanted to go there when it opened up, and my dad's like, "Y'all ain't going no damn Sesame Place. You know, I take y'all there." You know what I mean? And I understand now. You know, we went to Great Adventures as kids and all that shit. You know, but you know, my dad wasn't very keen on taking us around a bunch of white folks, and I understand why. Going to the beach was a hassle for black people. But it's still, you know, was something that we did every year, you know, as kids, you know. So, now, Sesame Place, it's always been racist. My niece used to work at Sesame Place back in, in the late 90s? The late 90s when she was in high school? Let me see. It was in, like the early 2000s. She was in high school. She was working down at Sesame Place. And she used to tell me how nasty and racist the white folks would be to black children, and how they would, like, you know, like when you go on the water slides, like a lot of black kids, the black people would tell the black kids, come on this side, because they didn't want them to, you know, had to deal with some of the white people that they knew was racist. And then it was other times when she used to tell us a story about how white kids would get, like, they would call out, and then you had to pull their duty, and sometimes you wouldn't even get paid for pulling their duty. You had to fight them to get the money, because they would take the money that you worked overtime for and would give to the person who took off, which was, you know, and they never got in trouble over it. They had to fight to get it, and my niece got fired over it. And she's like, they racist. They are totally a bunch of racist white folks out there. And I believe her. Now, she talked about this years and years ago. Now, if you don't know what's going on with Sesame Place, lately they've been really showing their asses. I seen a video of somebody dressed as, I guess it was Bert. And they walked by the black kid, slapped the black kid in the face, and they showed another one where recently the girl, it was two little girls, pretty little black girls, little children. The white kids are getting hugs and getting pats on the head by this one character, and then the character walks up to the black kids, put his hands over them like, "Hey, what about these kids? Should I give them a hug?" And then they waved their hand like no, and then they just like move past them. And these kids are like, yo, I want a hug too, you know? Now, the funny thing is, there's more stuff they show lately, you know, where they do like little interaction with the kids, and they don't fuck with the black kids. They'll go around them, or they'll move them out the way, shove them. Now, the funny thing about this that hits kind of close to home for me is when I was a little kid, we went to Great Adventure. They used to have these like meet the Marvel your Marvel superhero characters, some shit like that. I'm trying to get it right, but I can't get it out my mouth. But they had, I think it was like Captain America, the Hulk, Spider-Man, and somebody else. I think it was Iron Man. And I remember the only two people I wanted to meet was my favorite was Captain America, Spider-Man. Now, as a little boy, I love those two characters next to Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin has always been my favorite. You know what I mean? But Spider-Man has always stood next to those two. You know what I mean? And at the time, I was really big on Captain America because he had a shield, and his shield was kind of cool looking. He could throw it, and then it's like a boomerang and bop you upside your head, knock you out, whatever, and fly back to you, whatever. And I thought that was real cool, you know what I mean? So as a 4 or 5 year old kid, you know what I mean? Your brother reading you the comics and you looking at the comic books, you can't read, but you can look at them and see the artwork. That made me really dig them and see how Spider-Man, he couldn't fly, but he could swing through the skies. And that's like Batman. Batman was the same way. He'd get his little rope, throw his little batarang, and he'd swing over from one side to the other, whatever. And to me, that was cool. So those 4 characters was my greatest favorite characters in the world at that time. Batman and Robin still is. Spider-Man still is. Captain America, fuck him. Now I'm gonna tell you why I feel the way I feel about Captain America. Now like I said, I can agree with these children and how they felt. I'm 4 or 5 years old. We're at Great Adventures. We went on a Great Adventure trip. My cousin, and it was all of our like cousins and the brothers and sisters, and you know, we all cousins and stuff. We all go there. Where we went to Great Adventure, and my cousin was like, since Shorty likes Spider-Man and Captain America, they're going to be at Great Adventures. Can we take them? And they asked me, do you want to meet Spider-Man, Captain America? I'm like, yeah, I'm a little boy. I'm happy just to go. So we get down there. We walking around the park. They did all the shit. I'm looking for Captain America. Where Captain America? Where's Spider-Man? Where my boys at? You know what I mean? And this is the way I'm thinking as a kid. And I remember Captain America pops up first. There was these two little white boys that were on my right hand side. I'll never forget it. He came up to them. He shook their hands, you know, pat them on the head, shook their hand. And when I'm trying to get my hand shook, he turned around and he saw me reaching out for him, like trying to grab him. And he like kind of like moved away from me and like turned around and ran off. I gotta go. I was so mad and so hurt as a kid. Little kid, you're gonna throw a tantrum. I had this big ass teddy bear. The teddy bear was bigger than me at the time. And I threw down the teddy bear. I'm kicking it all over the place. I'm crying. I'm mad and upset. So everybody's like, hey, look behind you. And I'm not listening. I'm just going through this rage. You know what I mean? Because this character that I looked up to, basically told me go fuck myself. And I remember feeling a tap on my shoulder, and it's Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, you know, this motherfucker can't swing off because he ain't no real fucking superhero. He can't spin a web and just sling his ass out the fuck out of there. But he shakes my hand and gives me kind of a hug, and he like says goodbye to me, and he's like hopping off, you know, over exaggerating and shit, like he gonna jump up and spin a web and run off. And I was just so happy. Like, it was like Captain America was like, the thing what Captain America did to me, it was like over with right then and there. You know what I mean? Because I got a chance to see another superhero that I loved, you know, at that time, you know, acknowledge me and show me like, hey, look, hey, I'm here, I'm Spider-Man, you know. So I never forgot that shit. And after that, I was like, fuck Captain America. Captain America is a pussy ass bitch. Fuck him. And see, again, this is what I've always been telling people for a long time. Stop spending our hard-earned money with these fucking racist bastards. Why can't we build our own fucking type of Sesame Place or Great Adventures, or build up our own fucking communities? We're not even slowly being kicked out of our communities by the Hispanic groups and some of the white people just trying to make their way back to the Trenton area or to inner cities across the world. We don't put our blood, sweat, and tears into things that mean something to us. We want these people to do it for us. Understand, we are always, and we have always been on the chopping block. Everything about us has always been looked upon, and we're always like the endangered species. That's the best way I can put it to you. These people set up the living conditions. They set up the fact that how much money goes into our communities, how our schools are shut down. Now like I said, I'm speaking of schools. Let me say this: there's a school down the street from where I live at. It's been closed down for probably about 10, 15 years. About 10 years, 15 years. And believe it or not, that school, they're talking about reopening. And the reason why they're reopening it, because now there's a high Spanish population in the area. And they don't want these kids to go to the bad schools that they push the black children into. So now they're talking about reopening the school. Now, as you can see, we're going to do everything for the Hispanic groups. We're going to give them money so they can open stores. They can become business owners. They can do this. They can do that. You know, they can do this, that, yeah. You know, this is some real shit. This is some real shit. This is how they look upon us. They don't give a damn about us. But see, we don't give a damn about ourselves because this is what we've always done. We have always said, fuck ourselves. And let the white man do for us. This is that welfare shit again. Can't do this shit. We can't do this shit. We have to start doing for ourselves. We should have been done for ourselves. I talked about this back in the early 2000s about we should have done for ourselves. I remember matter of fact, I was talking about this shit back in the late 80s, early 90s. When I read it was in the paper about them regentrifying Trenton, talking about the next 20 years of regentrifying Trenton and how they wanted Trenton to be and how they wanted it to look and how they're going to start regentrifying it. They're destroying it, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to destroy it. They're going to make it so crime infested that the people will leave. A new group of people will move in, and they'll just move it over like fucking, you know, cold grits. They talked about this, and I talked about this too. Because when I read this shit in the paper, I'll never forget that shit. It was what, like 1989, 1990? You moved. But like I said, this is the bullshit we deal with as black people in this country. These people ain't got no love for us. And we show ourselves, we ain't got no love or respect for ourselves. We out here riding around on dirt bikes and weaving in and out of traffic and damn near causing fucking accidents. And we out here twerking on cars, and we have rallies and want to twerk. Come on, man. See, ghetto shit has to be let go. But see, this is the point where I've also talked about when it comes to allowing the government to get in between the man, the woman, and the child. 60s, we were strong. The 50s, we were stronger. We was actually stronger in the 60s too, until we weakened ourselves in the late 60s by joining the feminist movement. Black women had turned around and black women have turned around and what is the word I'm trying to say? They turned around, joined the movement. They had no good intentions for them, but only to destroy them and their lives, and their husbands and their children's lives. That's what happened. As I say before, and I'm going to say it again, this is not a good place for us, people. This has never been a good place for us. It's up to you to make a better day for yourselves. And we should be making a better day for ourselves, but we don't, because all we do is care about what the fuck we got. I got this, I got that. What about you? Oh, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. Fuck the I got. I'm trying to do shit now with friends and saying, let's put it together business. Let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. And you know what? Let's put our heads together and think about doing certain things. Oh, well, I don't know, man. I talked to my cousin about it. Hey man, won't you come in? You can do what I do. We both do the same, type of job. We can make a killing. Oh man, I don't want to do that, man, because if I do that, man, I don't think that's gonna work for me. It's never the fact that let me sit down and talk to you. Instead of you trying to get a get rich scheme, you should be out here saying, you know what, you're right. The white structure is collapsing right before our eyes. And if it collapsed today, a lot of us would be fucked. Because we have rode on this shit for a long time. The Spanish community, they got their own shit. The Asian community, they got their own shit. The Arab community, the foreign black communities, they got their own shit. We the only group who have fell into the trap and said, guess what? As long as white America is willing to give, we willing to take. They killing us, murder us in our face, and we don't do shit. We don't fucking say, okay, it's time for us to go on the offensive. We've always been on the defense, and that's where we always have been at. Now it's time for us to go on the offensive. Let them motherfuckers be on the defense, because they haven't sat in that seat in forever. I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. We are far behind. We are way behind. We've allowed ourselves to be duped, and now we're paying for it. So do yourself a favor, and like I said, man, think about what I'm saying. And if you just take 5 minutes just to think about it, maybe it'll change your mind. All right, y'all, let me get up out of here. Wait, before I even let this go, I'm gonna tell you something. And I said this in the last one I did last night about this situation, but for some apparent reason, it shut it down. We're living in a time of revelations. And revelations means to reveal or to unveil. You know what I mean? So these people are revealing and unveiling who they really are. They're showing you how they don't have no respect, they don't care, they'll kill us in our face, and then in the process of them killing us, they're saying this as well. We're going to kill you, and we're going to do what? We're going to make it so we are untouchable. Told us plenty of times this shit, that they are untouchable. Oh, this is what we doing. This is what it's all about. So you got to think about that. You know what I mean? You have to think about this. These people are showing, they are revealing themselves to us. They're revealing who they truly are, how they truly feel. When it comes to reparations, they'll give everybody else reparations and tell us straight to our face, go fuck yourself. We know that we done you wrong. You don't deserve it because you don't need it. We ain't going to give it. But just to piss you motherfuckers off, we're going to get the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans, and we're going to get the Asians, and we're going to get the Native Americans, we're going to give the Irish, and we're going to give the Italians, we're going to give everybody some type of form of reparations besides you. And then we're going to kill your people and your children in front of you and dare you to do something. What? And as cowards, we do nothing but march and cry and carry on. And then you got these little fucking dumbass fuckers out here talking about they out there marching, but you out there twerking your funky ass. Man, black people, get your shit together. Get your shit together. We done for anyway. So you know what? You might just go gently into the fucking night. This is the Battle Blast, and I'm out. Peace.